Good morning, everyone. Today is the feast of Saint Maximilian Kolbe. Now, he's a man whose name is relatively well known. Obviously, he was a priest and he was a martyr during the Second World War. He was of Polish descent, grew up in Poland, and there were difficult times in Poland initially, but he joined the Franciscan order, became a priest, and things are okay until such time as the Germans occupied Poland. And then they started persecuting anyone who was Jewish. And as it was their wont, the Polish priests hid the Jews. They kept them away from the Germans. And through that action, Maximilian was arrested. He was found to be harboring Jews, and he was dragged off to Auschwitz. His background, just to give an idea of the kind of man that he wasn't just a parish priest. He was active and he was out there. He believed in the concept of using modern technology to spread the news and to fight for the salvation of the Lord. He went and spent some time in Japan, and interestingly enough, he established the Garden of the Immaculate in a place called Nagasaki. Now, you'd be familiar with that because last week we were looking at, or over the weekend we were looking at Hiroshima and Nagasaki being the targets of the atomic bombs. And in the destruction of Nagasaki, almost everything was obliterated, but one or two items were not. And one of those was the Garden of the Immaculate that Maximilian Kolbe had established in Nagasaki. So at the time that Maximilian Kolbe was arrested and taken off to Auschwitz, there was an attempt of a prison break, and just as punishment, the Germans said, we're just going to starve 10 people to death, pulled out 10 people. One of them said, oh, what about my family? And Maximilian Kolbe offered to stand in his place, and therefore they were thrown into this isolation pit or shelter, whatever, and kept there until they died. Now, one would say, what was the nature of Maximilian Kolbe? When we see pictures of him, he seems to be a very solemn man, but it's not a question that he was so depressed. He died at the age of 47, so he wasn't old, but he was a man who clearly took his vocation seriously. And if it meant that he was required to die for somebody else, he was prepared to do that. And we see that dedication in his face. What a man. I mean, would we be able to do that? And what excitement for the man who was saved because he was present when Maximilian Kolbe was canonized in Rome. You have a wonderful day. Keep yourself safe. God bless. Bye-bye.